John Pickin here. Paul will be joining me momentarily, but we are here for our Monday Q&A. You guys have been clamoring to have these Q&As back, and so we have brought them back. So today's topic is going to be a really fun one. We get this question all of the time. So we get this question every second. It seems like in multiple different videos you guys ask this question. What do I even need to start? Is there a lot of needed upstart costs? Things like that. And so we're going to actually discuss some of the things that we use that really help make our business really efficient, and also must-haves. Like, I'm sorry, you just can't do this business if you don't have these things. And so we're going to give you an exhaustive list. Well, we're going to start with, 16 items. And then we've got a bonus one that you definitely want to stay tuned to the end for, because it's going to be crucial to being able to do this business, this reselling business. And so we're going to give you items you need to resell, must-have supplies.
You want to open the window or no?
Is it lighter or darker?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's okay.
Or is it better closed?
Ask people if it bothers them.
Yeah. Well, does this bother you? Is it too much glaring behind? I feel like there's a lot more light in here if we do that. It's not so dark.
See the pretty trees?
Yeah,
maybe.
It is really nice.
I think the camera's trying to focus in and out, though.
All right, so we're going to just keep it closed. Better? All right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So anyway, we're going to talk about items you need to resell, must-have supplies. So if you are wanting to do a reseller business. So Paul has got his phone here. He will do a Q&A for us, so any question you guys have.
Okay, if your camera is blurry, go ahead and click your picture of what you see us. On the top right-hand corner, 3 little white dots will pop up. Click them. Go to Quality. And then go to Advanced, and then go to 720p, and
it makes us not blurry anymore.
Boom. Now it looks perfect.
Yes.
So anyway, hopefully that helps you a little bit. Catch up on a few little quick questions or comments. Gigi says, hello, Heather and Paul.
Hello.
Let's see. Paul Hooks said, final preparations going live in minutes. I didn't write that.
I did.
Okay. Diana Flanagan says, hello and good morning.
Isn't it when you're married, what's yours is mine,
this is
mine
true.
Is yours, so I even speak for you? Sometimes, sometimes it's not a good idea. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't.
Sunshine Badgemore says, hello.
Hello, hello.
How's Canada today?
How is Canada,
Canada
today?
good today?
Sunshine, is Canada sunshiny? That's what I'd like to know.
I always think of Canada as cold, but that's probably a poor understanding of Canada. I feel
like, I grew up in Michigan, I feel like Canada is probably similar weather to Michigan.
It could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Sunshine Badges More says, I can join you today due to my bad luck. Off work this week with a nasty skin infection. Ugh.
Oh, well, we'll be praying you get better, Sunshine.
It says, hopefully my class is still standing when I get back.
Ooh, yes. You never know when you have substitutes in there. I used to substitute teach.
When you opened the window, it was making it a little bit blurry. It's all better now.
Good.
Ashley Llewellyn says, getting our first pallet sometime in the next week.
Stop the madness. Here you go. Buckle up. Well, this is a perfect topic for you, Ashley.
Yeah. Sunshine Badgemore says, it's very sunny on the East Coast today.
Nice.
In Canada. Andrew Mears says, Canada is good today. And Mike and Terry's Resell said, randomly popped up on my screen, so stop to say hi. I have a great time and an amazing week.
Awesome. Thanks.
Have you guys too. Mike and Terry's Resell. I think we met them. Didn't we? In Dallas?
Yes.
I think we did.
I think we did.
So I'm trying to think. So they have if it's the couple I'm thinking about, my goodness.
They're on fire.
They're on fire.
Yep.
Okay, the Phoenix says, hello, has your YouTube fame changed you? And if so, how?
No. It has not changed us.
You're a YouTube famous person, though.
Yes, but I'm still me. Well, I do have to say that, YouTube has changed my business. And I'll tell you why kind of at the end. We have a bonus thing that we're going to talk about, that we're going to...
You betcha.
We're going to...
Yeah, let's see here. Okay, so we're looking at items you need to resell and must have.
So it's kind of supplies that you would like to have. for your reselling business. So that's a biggie.
If you're already reselling, some of you already know these quite a bit. But then again, there might be something you're like, that's something I haven't considered. Also, I'd consider them to be, if you're starting this, sometimes the hidden costs of reselling. Sometimes you think it's just simply, I find an item, like we talked about last week, and I sell it for more, and boom, I make a fantastic living. But what are the other little hidden costs? All of these things, I think, are considered hidden costs, but very needed things.
Right, very needed things. I would agree, hidden costs.
So your first one is smartphone/camera.
Yes, that's crucial. It's how you basically keep in touch with everybody buying and selling and shipping and everything in between. And so having a smartphone to take amazing pictures, having a smartphone to keep in touch with any messages that pop up on Mercari, eBay, Poshmark. We do a lot of sharing on our Poshmark store via our smartphone. And so you really can't do this business well without a smartphone. I know some old school people do everything on the desktop, and that's fine and good as long as you can consistently have access to that desktop. But having the computer in your back pocket when you're out at the Target store and someone asks a question and getting almost immediate responses because you can stop pushing your cart, answer the question real fast, and move on is really, really beneficial. You as a buyer, when you ask, hey, what size is this? Or does it have tags? Or is it really true to color? Things like that you may get questions maybe like on a Poshmark or an eBay item. Or do you have more than one? Things like that. If you can give an immediate answer to your customer, you're more likely to have the sale. Did I miss anything?
You're amazing.
Thanks.
You never miss anything. We've got 10 thumbs up, so if you like the content, feel free to give us a thumbs up. And if you want to buy Heather a coffee or me a
Coke Zero.
Coke Zero. And yes, I do like the new formula.
It is good.
So they don't pay us nothing.
Right? I think they should.
That'd be a cool sponsor. Let's see. Second item that people don't necessarily think about is the need for a backdrop for your photos or stock photos. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So if you go to hookedonpickin.com, I love to find the stock photo because everything I sell that has a stock photo is a brand new item. And so I generally don't put a stock photo on there if it's a brand new item. Now, there are times you see my own personal photos of the item because I simply couldn't find a stock photo of my exact one. Like they may have had a set of black walkie-talkies but not pink ones, and so that's when I'll go ahead and take a picture of my own stock photo. One thing I would say, or my own personal photo, one thing I would say is there are many different options for doing your own photos, but having some sort of a backdrop, and to be honest, there's all these fancy kind of light boxes, backdrops, all that kind of fun stuff. You know what I use the majority of the time for a backdrop? A tablecloth. A plain, unpatterned tablecloth. Sometimes I'll even do a patterned tablecloth if it's a themed item, such as a Christmas item. I'll do some sort of a burgundy colored with some sort of a maybe Christmas-like decor on it. But a tablecloth is a fantastic backdrop, or a curtain. A tablecloth or a curtain. Plain tabletop works great too. Sometimes tabletops, though, occasionally have glare. And I love going outside and taking pictures outside because you can't get better lighting than the sun. And so you're not going to really, if you can go midday, I generally like to take the picture in the shade on a sunny day. So if you do it in the bright sun, you get glare on your camera. But if you do it in a shaded area of your yard on a sunny day, you usually get a phenomenal picture that most of the time has true to color photos. And so that's one thing that you have to be aware of. If you're taking a picture, like right now we're in our kitchen, we have daylight bulbs in our house, but if you had, they're phenomenal. Those are definitely an investment. I don't think that's on our list.
No.
But invest in daylight bulbs if you're doing any kind of photography or pictures of your items. Now, if you have the warm light bulbs, like the ones that have the little bit of a yellow hue, they're fantastic for houses, but terrible for pictures because your picture is not going to be true to color. Like you see my top as like a hunter green. If you have a warm light bulb, this may look more like a dark green, or it could look, just the color is skewed. And so that would be something, backdrops, photos, I kind of...
So with the daylight bulbs too on that, not only is it great for pictures and things, but if you struggle at all with seasonal depression, and we're about to go into that, We have quite a few folks at our church that struggle with that. It just gets dreary, you know. We live in an area where we don't get a ton of snow, but all the leaves are gone from the trees, and so there's some wonderful things about the changing of the seasons, but it can just be dreary. So it can help with seasonal depression too. And I know that when we put the daylight bulbs in, we did it all throughout the house, and actually you felt better. Turn on the light, and you're like, oh, it feels good. I don't know why it is that way. Our bodies want the sun or something, but it was great. Ashley Lou Ellen says, yes, I already have a 24-foot long, 8-foot wide, and 7-foot tall enclosed trailer full about 1,500 pairs of dress shoes, house shoes, sandals, 20 cases of Christmas, and 5 clothes racks full of women's and infants' clothes. Beat that.
You're a machine, Ashley.
Ashley's ready to do this.
You are a machine.
Ashley's going to make $1 million.
She is going to make $1 million.
Right there. That could be a lot of money right there. You could be looking at 1,500 pairs of shoes. Right there, you're looking at
15,000.
15. Yeah, it could
about
could
$10
be.
a pair of shoes.
Yeah, depending on what you bought them for, you're looking at probably $5,000 at least in profit there.
Yep.
20 cases, figure $300 a case. So yeah, you're looking at it's a good chunk of change right there, Ashley. Okay, let's see here. Number 3 on items you need. Let me get to where it is. Oh, this is a big one, Heather.
Huge.
Massive one.
Massive.
Measuring tape.
Measuring tape. Yes, you definitely need a measuring tape for various different reasons. You need it for your shipping size boxes because sometimes UPS requires dimensions, and so that's the simplest one. But anytime you sell clothes or a home decor piece, people want to know how tall it is, and so in your listing you need to include measurements. Now, you did a lot of Poshmark stuff. What are the primary measurements? Because he answers a lot of the Poshmark questions. What would you say are the primary measurements that you like to see on a clothing item?
Oh, what is it basically? It's chest, waist, length.
Yep, chest, waist, length. Sometimes
those are the 3 ones that people always wanted to know.
Yep, because every brand and every is depending on brands, the sizing is different.
That is really weird too to think about, especially if you're selling a lot of clothing. If you found something from I don't know, Macy's brand,
right?
It's Style and Company. Okay, Style and Company and Universal Thread. Universal Thread you're going to find at Target, pretty easy, pretty inexpensive. It's in a lot of liquidation. Style and Company is Macy's brand in a lot of liquidation. You have Style and Company's size large and Universal Thread size large are almost completely different.
Yeah, Style and Company is probably going to be a little bit on the roomier side.
Yeah.
If you wear a large, you're going to have more room in the Style and Company than you will the Universal Thread.
Now, the nice thing about it is people that shop Target or they shop Walmart and they buy a lot of Universal Thread, they kind of already know
what size they wear.
For the most part, I would say out of 100 shirts that we sell or 100 garments we sell, we don't get many returns. We really don't. But we might get 2 returns for the fact of, it said it's a large, but it really isn't a large. I'm like, no, it's a large in that brand.
Right.
So if you have the measurements down, that really does help. Poshmark is a big one for that. Mm-hmm. But really, if you sell on eBay, put the measurements down. It'll even help you win a claim if somebody says, yeah, they sold me the wrong size. No, we didn't. It says large on the label, and there's the measurements. What more could we have done?
Yeah. That's definitely helped us on Poshmark when people say it's the wrong size and they try to get a return or get a refund back. It helps us because we have more information in the actual listing, like he said, to help us with a claim. So measuring tape is crucial. I usually have multiple because you set it down and then you don't know where you put it, and it's always needed. And so various different kinds of measuring tapes. You can use the regular pull-out metal ones. For clothing, a lot of times the fabric stretchable ones work great too, especially if you're trying to measure a circumference or something like that. And so definitely have a measuring tape.
Yep. We're at 15 thumbs up. We're shooting for 50 thumbs up. We're trying to get there. Ashley Llewellyn says she learned it all from Heather.
Aw,
She
thanks.
started a multi-million-dollar business based on you.
She has been a viewer for a very, very long time.
The name is very familiar. Actually.
Have you watched? I'm wondering, has she been watching since we unboxed in the carport back in the days? Yeah. That's kind of the beginning. If you
back in the days, like 4 years ago. Back in the day.
Back in the day. Well, it's more than...
Feels like a long time
It's
ago.
more than 4 years ago, I feel
like.
Well,
we put out a video every day. So 4 years of videos,
that's a lot of videos.
It's like over 1,200, 1,500 videos.
Of our wisdom.
Ashley Llewellyn says, how do you measure chest? Is it from armpit to armpit?
Yes, that's always how I measure. Easiest, and a lot of times instead of putting chest measurements, I'll put armpit to armpit, laying flat, and then put that measurement.
Yep.
So.
Also, Ashley, if you get on, I think it's, is it Instagram? No. Instagram?
I don't know what you're going to say next.
What's the...
Pinterest.
Pinterest, that's what I'm going to think of. Pinterest has measuring charts. And it gives you different suggestions on how to measure, especially clothing, and they're very handy. And it could even give you different ideas of what else to include, just to have your post stand out a little bit more.
That also helps too. If for whatever reason your garment doesn't have a size tag on it, you can use the measurements to kind of figure out, is this a small, medium, large, extra large, that kind of thing too.
Michael Lincoln, a.k.a. Wayne Trading Company, says, there you guys go, 15 likes.
15 likes.
We're up to 15. Ashley Llewellyn says, yes, she watched from the very beginning.
Oh, awesome.
Thanks. Okay, number 4 on things that you need. You might not have thought about this one, and it depends on what you're actually trying to sell, but lights or light box?
Yeah, so we briefly touched on having daylight bulbs, and we definitely recommend that. When we built our new building, we put industrial fluorescent lighting in there to make sure that all of our pictures and videos and everything was really bright and spot on. And if you guys noticed, anytime we film from over there, the pallets and stuff, it seems like you can see everything very well. There's no shadows on the wall, things like that. And so having really good lights or light box is always a good idea. Now, you can buy very inexpensively the little foldable light box for like jewelry or socks or little home decor. You can even it's large enough to put like a coffee cup inside of it, and those are really nice, and they usually come with a fold down LED strip that goes towards it, and you can have a black or a white light box, and some of them come with interchangeable panels. Now, to be honest, I was coveting a light box we saw. Do you remember when we went to ASD that one time?
That was in Las Vegas that time.
Okay, so we were in Vegas one time, and they had this big thing that was probably, I don't know, maybe like this big by this big, and you would stick a pair of shoes in there. You would connect it to your computer, and it would rotate.
That was beautiful.
And it was basically how they create stock photos. So it would rotate the shoes, and it would get the side and the front and the back, and then you just lay them on their sides, and then you get the side, like the bottom of the shoe or whatever.
Right.
So it was phenomenal, and they would just upload straight to your computer, and it had a whole computer program or whatever. But that was like $5,000 or something like that.
Yeah, the cheap one, the cheap package was $5,000. I mean, that was more industrial style. Like if you were Nike and you were wanting to do your photos, I'm sure Nike has something similar to it.
Yep.
Or if you some other huge company that always wanted to have beautiful stock photos that nothing was in the background, just your item. And they had a way to adjust, and you could, all kinds of stuff. But we can't justify that.
Yeah. But anyway. We have used the small, tiny, jewelry light box and things like that. And so those are relatively inexpensive. You
$20 on Amazon usually. 20 to $40.
Just type in photo light box, and then just make sure you read the dimensions on it, because they do have kind of small, medium, large one. They're fairly inexpensive, and they usually come flat, and you kind of have to build them, and they're actually pretty handy.
Yeah, Sunshine Badges Morning says, yes, I need better pictures debating on how to get better light. Sunshine Badges, if I'm remembering right, you do a lot of Girl Scout, Boy Scout badges and various of the little...
A light box would be perfect.
It would be beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. And it comes with, usually you can find them on Amazon that'll come with, it's a light box, and you can have a black background or a red background or a green background or a white background. I think they all come with a white background, but then you can do other little backgrounds.
And they have an LED built-in light strip that you just simply plug in. Cool. So it's really nice.
Let's see. Renee Kingsbury says, I watched you unbox in the carport. Laugh out loud.
Yep.
That's a faithful viewer right
there. That is
there.
a faithful viewer.
And Sunshine Badge Moore says, I scan all my badges.
Yeah, so.
But I need things for mugs and small, odd bits and bobs. Yeah, that would be perfect.
Yep.
Like a mug would be perfect. Any small little trinket is perfect in there for that there. We are up to 22 thumbs up, Heather.
Whoop, whoop,
We're almost
22.
halfway to our 50 goal.
Nice.
It's going to be beautiful. Okay, let's see here. So we did Lightbox. So
that was number 4.
Number 4. Number 5. I guess we kind of touched on it, but not quite. Is an editing app. Do you want to explain?
Sure. So editing apps, I utilize Adobe Photoshop. That is my go-to for photo editing. And I can do various different things with that, such as, for instance, on hookedonpickin.com, we sell a magic box. And there are 3 different kinds of magic boxes. So how do I get a stock photo that displays all 3 different ones? Because they have really nice stock photos of each individual one. So I didn't want to take my own personal photo because the stock photo was gorgeous. But I wanted to display all 3. So with my Adobe Photoshop, I was able to put the red box, the green box, and the blue box. And then also put a title at the top, like magic box sets. Or I don't remember exactly what I called it. But that way you can put text and font. You could put little things in the corner that say 2-pack if you're selling it as a 2-pack. But really, really nice and handy. Also on that, when I do take my own personal photo, I can take the background color out. And so I do know how to make my own personal photo turn into a stock photo. And so using Adobe Photoshop and video editing. The one bonus about Adobe Photoshop is that there are tons of YouTube videos out there, and their help section on Adobe Photoshop is really, really beneficial and very easy to use. So it's very intimidating when you first get it because there's all these buttons and icons on the side and you're like, how in the world am I going to do this? But it just really helps for you to manipulate all the different factors in your photo to make it exactly how you want it to be. And so the editing apps are phenomenal. Also, video editing, I utilize Power Director for any of the video editing.
Yeah.
It's a very simple...
it's free too.
And it's also free. Yeah. Well, I have both versions. The desktop we pay for, and then the phone version we...
Yeah, they have like a basic thing.
They have a basic one. So Adobe Photoshop I didn't mention, but that is a subscription fee of about $10.99 a month, or maybe,
I think you're right.
Yeah, something like that. So it's not very much. You do have to stay up to date on that as far as keeping the subscription because they put updates. And they offer larger packages and larger bundles if you want those things too. And so you can get those, but it's not needed when you first start out. And so if you're ever looking to get a really, really nice picture and you just can't find it anywhere, take your own photo, pull out the background color, or just find a nice way to take the photo and keep the background in.
Beautiful. We've hit 25 thumbs up.
25. Nice.
Halfway to our goal.
So we like the thumbs up.
Yes, we do. Okay, let's see here. Questions. Sunshine Badgemore says, I think a light box is a good idea. She's going to go on the hunt to find one. Lou Soto says, do you need a seller's license if I'm trying to sell on eBay?
So we sold for years without selling on eBay. I think,
without having a seller's license.
Sorry, without having seller's license. Thank you for the correction. And so we sold for years without it because eBay does take out all the taxes and all that things. But I mean, what's the main reason we got a reseller's license?
Reseller's license because of liquidators that we were trying to buy from started to require a reselling license. And then when we started going to Las Vegas and Dallas for these market road shows, we would start talking to reps of wholesalers, and they'd like, hey, just shoot me over your reseller's license. I'm like, we didn't have one. And they kind of looked at us like, then what are you doing here? And we quickly realized that they really want you to have one. And it started becoming increasingly more difficult to find people that we wanted to work with that were okay with not having a reseller's license. If you're someone that says, I like to go thrifting, and my main source of finding all the stuff I put on eBay is garage sales, flea markets, and thrift shops, you don't need a reseller's license, and you'll never need a reseller's license. A reseller's license in the state of Illinois gives you the ability to buy product without paying the tax on the item. Now you pay the tax on the backside when someone purchases the
Yeah, so
item.
you pay the sales tax.
So the government still gets their money. Trust me, it always happens every year. But it is helpful. In some ways, you could say that if you buy something from a thrift shop or some company that doesn't, you don't have to have a reseller's license, you're paying the tax twice. They will charge you tax. And then when you sell the item, the government will also require their tax. Maybe, okay, on certain, some think that's the way it is. But anyway, but no. Ashley says, does Adobe work on your phone, Heather?
No, the Adobe Photoshop only works on a desktop, as far as I know.
I'm sure there's probably on the Play Store some Adobe,
maybe,
but it's not the one you use.
No, it's a
big program.
The one I use, you need kind of a beefy computer. I literally bought a gaming computer for my business because of the big hefty programs I use as far as like Adobe Photoshop and things like that.
Yep. Okay, the Phoenix says, do you just do a general search to get your stock photos?
So, Paul has commented multiple times, I'm like a ninja with finding stock
She really
photos.
is. She's good at it.
So, a lot of the liquidators that we buy from, one of the favorite ones that I have is 888 Lots, and they usually will provide an Amazon link to the item because it used to be listed on Amazon. It's usually currently not listed or unavailable on Amazon, and for whatever reason, that company decided not to sell it on Amazon anymore. So, a lot of times I can find the photos right from there. I use a snipping tool, which works really good on the desktop. But if for whatever reason that Amazon listing is totally like gone, I don't know if you've ever clicked on an Amazon listing and it's basically non-existent anymore, the Google machine. I pretty much just type it right in the URL bar as a search, and then I go to images and I can usually find something there, or I'll find something similar and then change my title to that similar named item, and then it usually will pop up the one I'm looking for. Very rarely do I not find a stock photo on a lot of our stuff.
I'm going to combine number 6 and number 7 if you're still writing these down. Number 6 and 7 are mailers and boxes. They are different, but they're very, very needed if you're going to do any kind of reselling. Mailers and boxes.
All right, so our boxes we get from a local box company. We always list him down in the description below. So if you want to ever check who we get our boxes from, we love him, and he can ship them across the country. So his name is Matt Ulrich. He's a local guy here, nice guy. St. Louis Box Company is what he works for, but he can ship you a shipment of boxes. He delivers ours because he literally lives a town 6 miles south of us. So I just email him and he drops them off. So if you live anywhere in our area, you can get them probably delivered easily. But have somewhere where you get standard size boxes that you like. Now we're talking about the plain brown boxes right now. I'm going to get into post office boxes in just a minute. But the standard size boxes, that way you always know, okay, it's going to fit in the 12 by 12 by 8 box. Or it's going to fit in the 18 by 12 by 12 box, and so have standard size boxes that you normally use, and you kind of will learn, okay, based on the items that you sell all the time, which ones do I use all the time. We also have like a 6 by 6 by 6 box that works really good, a little tiny square one. Post office though, so those are the ones that we actually pay for, and we usually pay, we also buy the Walmart shipping boxes. We have
them before.
Buying those, but they're only one walled, and so they're a little bit more flimsy. So that's why we like our box company guy, because he gives us 2 walled boxes, and they're less likely to get damaged or break open. And so we also buy our tape from him. The tape, I don't know if that's under supply somewhere else.
I think it might be.
We'll talk about that later. But our post office boxes, if you're making a list, get your pen out right now. I'm going to give you all of the ones that I buy on a regular basis. And the sizes that I get on a regular basis, because they're super, super useful and handy, okay? So if you don't have a pen, grab one right now and write these down. Okay, so my favorite ones are, we have the 1096 long. That's a little tiny, it's kind of a rectangular box. VHS tapes. It's a little bit bigger than a VHS tape, if you know what those are.
What's the number again?
1096 long, so it's 1096L, and then we use the 1097, which is a long rectangular box. We ship a lot of our Poshmark clothes in because a sweater will just slide right in there. And they seal on both ends. Just so you know, with the post office boxes, they do have those little pull strips, and they stick them down. Always take those.
Always take them.
They always bust open. Do not rely on the self-adhesive on the post office boxes, ever. So we use the 1096s, the 1097s, the 1095s are a little bit wider than the 1097s. So 1095. We use box 7. Literally, that's what it's called. Box 7. It's a cube. Basically, it's like 12 inches by 12 inches by 8 inches or something. It's a nice cube box. So those are for like your big fluffy coats, things like that. We also use what's called the shoebox. Shoebox is a long, narrow one. Similar to the size of a shoebox. I'm trying to think of any other ones we use. Oh, the mailers, the padded mailers. We use the priority padded mailers regularly and the priority envelopes. And so, just so you know, every single box that I just listed from the post office is free. You order it from UnitedStatesPostOffice.com, USPS.com, and just FYI, right now, if you order those size boxes, it's going to take probably 3 to 4 weeks to arrive to you. So order them right now because we're first day of November. You're going to need them for all that fourth quarter Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
Okay, we got some questions?
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see here. Should we go through this here? Sunshine Badger says, yep. Mailers, bubble wrapping, paper, boxes, absolutely. Decor and More says, hi.
Hi, Decor and More.
Sunshine Badger says, I cheat and save my Amazon boxes too.
Yes, we reuse a lot of the boxes. If you get a large shipment from us, a lot of the fire sale people will find that it arrives in an 8 at 8 lots box from us. Yeah, so we reuse a lot of those big
boxes
ones.
too. They are nice boxes.
Yeah.
Decor and More says, I reuse supplies and boxes. Yep. Here's a great question. Rocky Mountain Value says, Paul, I know you guys buy from Tundra and you resell it. I tried to buy from them, picked items out, paid, did a little survey, and they came back and told me I couldn't sell to third parties. Do you know why? Okay. There's a couple of things that go into that. One is Tundra doesn't want you to sell their stuff on Amazon.
Yep.
Ultimately, that's what they mean. They don't want you to sell on Amazon because they are concerned all the liquidators, or not the liquidators, all the wholesalers, they want to put their stuff on Tundra. They want mom and pop shops to buy it. They want people like us that have our own little website to buy it and sell it to whoever that we can get to come to our website. But they really don't want us to put it on Amazon. Not only will Tundra do that, but we really found that out when we went to Dallas Market Week show. We would walk in and we had a name tag and it said hooked on a Pickin and it said online reseller. I think it was online reseller. The very first question when they would see that tag, it'd say, do you sell on Amazon? And we would say, yes. And some of them said, well, we don't have anything for you. I'm like, I'm looking at your product. And they're like, we don't have anything for you. And if they wanted to be kind of snotty. If they were nicer, they'd just say, hey, look, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for checking out our store. But we really don't want you to sell anything on Amazon. I know that sounds weird, but what people are discovering is if you make like this little blue pen, so if you can see in the camera, if you make this little blue pen here, and you make it, you have little decals on it or something clever with it, and you put that on Amazon, and you have the ability to put your stuff out there where multiple people can buy it, then let's say you sell this one ink pen for $1, and you have a bunch of wholesale guys come in and buy your product, they will start driving the price of that pen down so far where you as a manufacturer or you as the guy that created the little decal can't make any money and you're losing money and now you're stuck with a bunch of blue pens that you can't sell.
They'd rather sell to the little boutiques and the mom and pop shops, or like we're considered kind of like an online boutique. Yeah. So we are not Amazon, but we're a distinct, like a separate online website.
And honestly, what I've also looked at too for the third party is if you find a lot of the stuff on Tundra, Rocky Mountain Values, you'll discover, go ahead and look it up on Amazon, and you'll find you're not making much money at all.
Yep.
Okay? So you have to find another avenue to sell that item. Having our own website is huge for us because I'm able to buy things from liquidators, not have to worry about Amazon, and I usually still get a good profit margin.
We also don't have to charge as much because we're not paying that 35% Amazon fee on our own website. So most of the time with our stuff on Hooked on Pickin, it's priced much lower than you could pay on that you would buy it for on Amazon.
Right. That looks scary, but it's less scary than you think. I mean, just think about it, Rocky Mountain Valleys, for a moment. They're selling goods wholesale to boutiques. They want you to sell the items so that you'll come back and buy more. Now, if you want to say, "Hey, I've got a ministry, and I want to buy a whole bunch of popcorn," yeah, you can do that, and then just supply your ministry with popcorn if you really wanted to. But that's really not their business model. They want to sell to people that are reselling. They just are saying, "Listen, hey, don't be that third-party reseller." Third party is the buzzword for Amazon.
Selling on Amazon. Right.
They don't want to use the word Amazon. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's a little bit of code in the whole system. But anyway, there you go. Sunshine Badges and More says, I lucked into 22 rolls of packing tape at a yard sale this year.
Bonus.
Decor and More says, good deal, Sunshine. And Tammy Benton says, if you acquire an item in a box/pallet and you look it up on Amazon and it says unavailable, why can't you send it to Amazon since you have it available?
So there's a couple of different things that I think of when it's unavailable. First off, I like to look and see who was selling it. Because a lot of times the only person who was selling it was the actual maker of it. And you are going to be restricted from selling it. They are the only ones who sell it. Such as I use as an example all the time, Melissa and Doug. The only person who can sell Melissa and Doug toys are Melissa and Doug. Amazon doesn't allow any other third-party sellers to sell their toys. And so that's why we sell all our Melissa and Doug toys that we get in liquidation on hookedonpickin.com. Right. And so that's one thing as well. The other thing, too, is always check the sales rank. A lot of times it's unavailable because the sales rank is like 2 or 3 million and because it's just not selling anymore. And so you don't want to list it on Amazon and pay those Amazon fees for storage and all that stuff and have it sitting there and never sell it. You can try to send it into Amazon. The biggest thing that I would suggest is go to Amazon Seller Central. Check are you approved to even sell it? So the part of the reason it might be unavailable is because it's restricted only to the direct manufacturer or the direct creator of the item, and it's unavailable because they're no longer producing it, and they also don't allow any third-party sellers to sell it as well. So if you have gone through all of those steps and you're like, it's still got a good sales rank, it says that I can sell it, I'm going to ship it in, just watch it. Because within a week, when it finally hits the warehouse, you may get a notification saying, hey, you're not allowed to sell this, and you're breaking Amazon's policy. Now, the way they created the listing, they should have flagged you right from the get-go to say, hey, no one else can sell it. But not everybody sets up their listing properly on Amazon. And so as soon as you get that notification, you need to pull that item back and delete and close that listing. Because it can put your account in jeopardy if you have a bunch of those out there. Mm-hmm. And you don't delete and close that listing off of your inventory list. You're not deleting it off Amazon.com. They have their own master. But you're deleting it off your account, and you don't want to get flagged for that later. So those are various reasons why it's probably still unavailable. But there have been multiple times I've sent items in that were currently unavailable, but I had 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, and they sell right away, and I have no issue at all. And so, but I would just say, warning, there might be other reasons why it's unavailable.
Very good. Let's see. Sunshine Badges and More says on Canadian eBay boards, Amazon is called the River. They talk about selling on the river. Laugh out loud.
That's funny.
Decor and More says, does it cost to set up your own website?
Yes. It depends on who you're hosting it through. I currently host mine through Shopify, which is set up for selling items. There's multiple other website hosting. I know Robin and Jerry Kuntz, they use GoDaddy. And so they allow selling as well as blogging and stuff like that. So some websites are set up for blogging and selling. I like Shopify because it's super user friendly.
We pay a subscription fee.
We do.
And then you pay a credit card fee. Every time an item sells currently, you pay 30 cents each time an item sells, each time there's an order, it's 30 cents. And then a 2.3 to 2.5, sometimes 2.7, depending on what you have set up for a credit card fee. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see here. Another question there. Says, do you buy Amazon overstock from liquidators?
Yes.
Yes, pretty much all the time.
Yep.
Tammy Benton says, gotcha, makes sense now. And Decor and More says, what is the cost on Shopify? Do you need a reseller license?
So I would just go to Shopify.com and check out their different plans because they've got kind of like beginner, intermediate, advanced, depending on what bells and whistles you want. The Shopify also has a bunch of like add-ons that you can do. Like you can do like a Facebook attachment where you can attach your Shopify to Facebook. We recently just did that. That didn't cost us any money because they finally set it up to be free. So we actually have a Facebook shop now, but it's directly attached to Shopify, and I can set it up where they can buy directly through Facebook, or they have to come to my website. I usually make them have to come to my website. That way I keep all the fees in one place. Right. Also, it drives them to the other items that I have on my website. But it also, like, Shopify has a lot of things that attach to social media. So you can have Instagram, you can have Twitter, you can have things like that. But those are all, like, add-ons that you can do. Yep. They also, Shopify I love too, because they do an email list. If you are not a part of our email list, definitely subscribe to an email list. If you don't know how to do it, usually log into your account and you just click subscribe to the email marketing. You don't have to worry about me blowing up your email. I send 1 to 2 emails a week. Even this week, I didn't even send any. So I'm not going to trash your email with a bunch of stuff. But anytime I put new product on, I usually send it. And anytime I run any discounts, I usually send an email. So I only do it when it's like, hey, look at the cool new stuff that you want to get before everybody else buys it.
Also, if you subscribe to our Facebook page, I think it's subscribe to our Facebook page, become a friend to our Facebook page. We've been noticing lately, they changed something on Facebook that every time Heather posts an item, like right then, it posts to Facebook too, our Hooked on Pickin Facebook page. So sometimes people are buying it like within 20 minutes after we post it, boom, we sell out of it. And we're like, whoa.
All you have to do is follow hookedonpickin.com. It's an open Facebook page. So it's Hooked on Pickin on Facebook, and you just have to follow the page, and anytime we load something.
We got to get moving here.
Oh, okay.
Number 8 is scale. You need a scale.
Yes, we have 3 different types of scales that we use.
Oh, we're at 33 thumbs up.
Thank 33.
You. Trying to get to 50. 17 away. Here we go.
Nice. All right, so we're at 33 thumbs up. But the 3 different scales we use is we have a jewelry scale that does grams, and it's really lightweight, and it's about this big, really tiny, about the size of your cell phone. Basically, jewelry scales are really nice. So if you do any kind of jewelry or anything like that, a lot of times, like sterling silver, when we sell sterling silver lots, they want to know how much does it weigh in grams. We don't use that one very much because we don't do a ton of sterling silver sales, but we used to in the past. And then we have our regular scale that we use, and we have it set up for ounces, grams, or pounds and ounces. And so that one is a really nice scale, and it goes up to 100 pounds. So it's like basically from 0 to 100 pounds. That one goes up to, and it's basically like this big, similar to like a kitchen scale. And then we have a huge packing scale. And the one thing I would recommend with your huge packing scale, so if you sell anything that's like 20 pounds and it's a huge box or whatever, you're going to want a bigger scale for that. But we definitely would recommend on all of your scales, except for maybe the jewelry one, have a detachable display. Because your box sometimes is bigger than the scale. And it's really hard to put the box on and then pick it up and quick look at what it says. So if you have a detachable display where it just has like a little cord, like a phone cord.
A lot of them are made that way now too, for that purpose.
So I would recommend if you're just doing lightweight stuff like Sunshine Badges and More just does badges and stuff like that, you just need that little one that goes up to 100 pounds, like the 0 to 100 pounds or whatever.
Sunshine Badges and More says, Paul, what was the size of the small light box you were talking about?
I would little white say it was about
2 by 2 or 12 by 12?
12 by 12.
Yeah, and they're all kinds of different sizes. Just think of what I think you said you sold a mug. I would measure a quick mug and then
this would fit in a 12 by 12.
The only disadvantage is you can't bring your camera way out to take a picture because now you're taking a picture of the box and everything. You have to be able to get in there and take a picture. And every once in a while, we've had cameras that just didn't like to zoom in that close or whatnot. So
the cell phone cameras usually are pretty good.
Usually they're good. But anyway, so think about that. And then they're kind of made to to collapse and portable, and they're kind of for the on-the-go too, which is kind of nice for that.
Yep.
Janet Hook says, enjoying the live video from North Carolina, and even gave us a heart.
Nice.
Hi, Mom.
But did she give us a thumbs up? That is the question.
So my mom should be an Instagram poster.
She should.
Taking these beautiful pictures of the countryside of North Carolina, all these beautiful mountains and colors of the leaves changing.
I'll have to share one on the Hook I'm Pickin.
Yep. Number nine, a needed thing if you're going to be a reseller is packing tape. We've talked about it a little bit.
Yes, so packing tape we get from our box guy, and I do have to say, I have become a packing tape snob. So I used to buy the Scotch 3, 3-inch.
Walmart.
The Walmart one. And literally in the cold or hot weather, it comes peeling up, comes off. So we buy one particular type of tape from our box guy because it is the stickiest tape known to man.
Yep.
I used to hate it when I first started using it, and now I'll never use a different kind of tape again.
Beautiful.
Because it's super durable, super sticky, and it fits in our little dispensers really easy. We usually just use the handheld dispensers, not the one with the handles and stuff.
I love that tape. That's so good. The stuff that you buy at Target and Walmart is packing tape, and it's meant to really tape up a box one day, get it shipped the next day, or put it in the U-Haul, drive there, and then you can untape that box pretty easily. Okay, our stuff,
It's like industrial
you're
strength.
going to have to cut that tape.
Yep.
And that's what most liquidator companies try to find some kind of thicker tape for.
If you want to know which kind of tape I use, just go ahead and shoot me an email. I'll try to also list it in the description after this is over, what kind and location. But just look for my St. Louis box company guy, Matt Ulrich, and he can tell you. Just say, hey, I saw you on Hooked on Pickin' and wanted to buy the same tape she does, and he can get it for you.
Yeah, Sunshine, sorry. I'm an American. I do things in inches, 12 inches by 12 inches. Ashley Llewellyn says yes to be in inches. That seems to make more sense. Yeah, 12 feet by 12 feet would be a huge
light box.
That'd be ridiculous.
Listen, we're going to put Paul in the light box.
Yeah. The little guy comes with the light box and the camera. Okay, before we get into number 10, that is a very needed item. So if you are enjoying the content, and yes, thank you for all those that have hit the thumbs up, but if you would like to do a super chat and donate to us, you're welcome to do so.
Coffee.
Buy Heather a coffee. She's out. And myself a Coke Zero. That'd be great. Number 10 is adhesive shipping labels and DYMO labels. I would say this is a major hidden cost that people don't even think about. They don't even consider. They don't even structure into their business model. But it's important.
So, okay, the adhesive labels would be your thermal laser printer or thermal label writer. So you can get various different brands. They have a Brother version. They have a Rollo version. I personally use the DYMO. There's no good or bad option with those. I haven't heard anything bad about the other ones, but I use the DYMO label writer. I use two different kind of thermal label writers. One is the DYMO label writer 450, and that has the little labels that are about, kind of your address label size. And it does go a little bit wider, so you can do name tags and stuff like that on it as well. It is only in black and white. And then I also use the DYMO Label Writer 4XL. Those are my shipping labels. I do have to say, for the longest time, I used label paper. So if you have a regular printer, you can use label paper, where you print the shipping labels on half sheet, where you get two labels on each sheet, and you can print the label that way. And for years, I did that. Probably for the first couple of years, I did that. And it works great, but I have to say the labels and the label writers stick so much better. There were times with my label paper, the ones that are on the 8.5 by 11, would actually start coming and peeling off. Especially if you set your packages outside and you had any kind of humidity or condensation, they'd start peeling up. And the last thing you want to do is have your shipping label fall off your box. And so the label writers are huge. They are a bit of a cost, but one thing that offsets the cost of the DYMO labels or label writers is you're not paying for ink ever. You never buy ink. So how many shipping labels do you print, and how much ink are you wasting because you're printing those shipping labels? It's also laser printed on a regular printer, which means sometimes that ink fades if it gets wet. Not so with the thermal label writers. You can get those labels wet and ink doesn't run. And so you're not buying ink with a label writer. That's a huge, huge, huge thing. Although the labels do cost more than a piece of paper to print it on, how many you're doing. If you're only printing, I don't know, 2 or 3 labels, shipping labels a week, just print it on paper, tape it on, you're good to go. But if you're printing like we do, where we're literally shipping like 10 to 20 packages a day, then you're going to definitely want to look into adhesive shipping labels and the thermal printers. Well, I kind of jumped the gun because we're going to talk about
number
printers.
11 is printers. I think you pretty much covered that. You need something to print the labels on the packages, There was a day early on, we'd write it out, and you can do that, and you could just tape that on there. If you need to do low tech, if it's just you can't even afford a printer, you still can.
Yep.
Just write out the address the good old-fashioned way. The post office will take it.
Tracking number, and then type it in when you get home.
Exactly. When we did that, I would tape over every bit of the written
address.
But it just, the amount of shipping we were doing, it just became so much easier.
I would say, I talked a lot about the DYMO label writers. With a regular printer, get one with toner. Just get a black and white toner printer. It's going to be a lot cheaper than your colored printers. You can have a color printer for special things you want to do, like if you want to print cards, to like thank you cards or whatever, throw in the box, all that kind of stuff. But if you have a label printer, you definitely want it to be in black and white and toner based if it's a regular printer, because it's going to cost you a lot less money.
Yeah, we use the DYMO, but Timothy here is saying he uses I use Zebra ZP450.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one too.
And Pat George says we use dynamic printer at the hospital. Okay. So there's all kinds of different ones. Yep. Just find something that you're like, okay, yeah, this will work for me. And
I just know the DYMOs are compatible with eBay labels, Poshmark labels, all of that kind of stuff.
Yes, they are. Number 12, a needed thing. You need storage. You need a clothing rack or a closet or shelving. We have shelving right now.
So we actually were running into a huge storage issue in our space about a year ago. And we were like, we need to make sure that we have the right type of storage. I bought one particular type of metal rack in the space, and it has done wonders. We ended up buying 5 more. And so that has revolutionized the way that we inventory and the way that we store things. And so good grief, we built our own building because we ran out of storage.
And to be honest, we probably could have made that twice the size. Yep. I have a feeling if it was twice the size, I would have it just as full.
We would fill it.
I get almost envious, covetous when I see other resellers go out and they rent a huge facility. I'm like, oh man,
that would be nice.
Space would be nice. We're constantly tripping on each other now, but all of that used to be in the house.
Yep.
And it is really nice to close that door, come over here, and not have to worry about it over there, or it just, whatever project you're working on just stays there. So
there were multiple times, so when I was unboxing, I would lay it all over the dining room table. We were going to have company. I'd have to throw it all back in the box. We'd have our event, and then I'd have to get it all back out. And so I was doing the work 2 to 3 times because I had to still live life in my house. And so if you can have an exclusive space for storage and shelving and even your shipping, it really, really does benefit and helps you be a lot more efficient. And so just think through that. I have really nice big metal shelves. I think I've shown them in a few videos. Mm-hmm. If you're interested in the ones that I get, let me know. I think I buy them right off of Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're nothing fancy, but they work great for us.
They do work great.
Okay, number 13. We're up to 39 thumbs up, so we're trying to hit 50. So I'm 11 away. So if you have a thumbs up, please do.
Make Paul's day.
Make my day. I want to hit 50. Number 13 is storage bins. You have to have something to store your items in. Often the small little stuff.
Yeah, so we have a lot of, we just unboxed a bunch of jewelry. To be honest, we don't do anything crazy fancy. We buy clear plastic totes. Sometimes we buy drawers. And then all of our jewelry is labeled with a letter. And then that letter has an inventory letter with the jewelry. And we put them in priority mailboxes because those are free. And so we'll stack multiple on the shelf. All of our shoes are that way. Yep. We have big priority mailboxes, and these are all size 6s, and these are all size 7s, these are all 7.5s. That's kind of how we have stored it, but it's all labeled on what shelf it's on and where to locate it. And so storage bins are a big thing. So just find what works for your storage space. If you need small bins, I would definitely say, if you can, do clear ones.
Yeah. So you
that
can look
helps.
in and see
Like,
it.
we'll put
It
a
is
label
helpful.
on it, but clear helps.
Yeah, it does. Okay, number 14. Again, it's kind of the hidden cost of this business, and this I think is a huge one that can really add up, and that would be subscriptions. Subscriptions to eBay, to Amazon. You don't really have a subscription to Poshmark or Mercari, but any other little help, like Adobe Photoshop, maybe you like a certain inventory program.
Like
all
we
of
use
those things start
Inventory
to add
Lab.
up.
Yep.
Yep. So that becomes a huge cost, but would you say it's needed?
I would say for sure. Now, to be honest, we used to list on Amazon all the time. We have slowed our Amazon listing, and so we actually paid $40 a month on Inventory Lab. We just got rid of it because we're like, we can still list directly from Amazon Seller Central, not pay that extra $40 a month, and because we're not selling as much on Amazon. And so we were like, does it really, are we selling $40 a month worth on Amazon? Now we are selling a little bit more than that, but let's go ahead and pocket the $40 a month. And not pay that fees.
It's been really odd for us. We've almost shifted completely away from Amazon. That started happening when we started doing fire sales. And we have them now Thursdays, noon Central Standard Time on our site, on our YouTube channel. And that's gone very well for us. And it was just things that, okay, we would have normally sent that into Amazon. Now we don't even do that. And then at one time, we had like 1,000 items, 1,000 different listings that we were selling on Amazon. And that's just slowly came down to, I think it got down to 30.
Yeah.
And we were just like, wait a second, are we even making money after paying the subscription fees and the Inventory Lab fees and things like that? Inventory Lab is a great program, but it really was designed for selling a lot on Amazon, at least the way we were using it. And our own website has its own inventory system, so we're able to keep in touch with all that. So it became a little redundant, so we're able to save some money that way. Okay, let's see. Tammy Benton says, can you repeat what inventory system you use?
Well, Inventory Lab was one, but the majority of our inventory is now on HookedOnPickin.com, so we track everything through that.
Right. Shopify has its own system, what we have designed our website through, so we're able to keep in touch with what inventory we have, when it's out, when it's close to being out. You can give estimates of when you think it will be out, that kind of thing. So, which is really nice and handy. It's nice to buy a program that's already built into it. Yep. But before that, we were using Inventory Lab. And really good. It really helps if you're doing stuff on Amazon. I think it's primarily designed for that, although you could use it for other things. But that is a very helpful program. Yep. Let's see. Tammy Benton, yes, I can type not. Yes, I can type not.
Oh, it must have just, you.
Yep, there you go.
It auto-corrected on her.
Gotcha. Okay, so subscriptions is number 14. Number 15 is kind of the dream that everybody wants, is to completely break away from the beast that is Amazon and to build your own website, which I think you have noticed we've talked about multiple times. Right. Do you like having your own Hooked on Pickin' website?
Yes, because I make the rules.
She makes the rules.
I make the rules. So I'm not restricted in how much I'm allowed to sell, whether or not I can sell that brand. And I'm fully in control of what it looks like, how people are able to purchase, the payment options, how frequently I send out emails to people. I'm in control of all of that. So do I want to be the obnoxious person that sends out emails all the time? No, I don't. I want to be the person who sends out emails only when it's pertinent. It's like with a new product or with, new sales or something like that. So it gives me full control to run the business the way I want to. Now, do I still have a hosting, platform? Absolutely, because, I'm not smart enough to build from the ground up. But the bonus about Shopify is it does have all these other options to connect to social media. And so that's the thing that makes me really excited about that particular platform. But there's plenty of other good website hosting platforms that don't cost as much as Shopify that will work just as well. So just do your research and stuff. I am not a techie person. I know a lot of people probably think that I am. I am not a techie person. I am self-taught. I kind of learn as I go. It takes me a while.
She's good at it, though.
Well, it takes me a while to learn it, but then once I do learn it, I'm very efficient at it.
It seems to always be changing. And Heather, is able to kind of ride that wave real well. I would get frustrated and go, forget this garbage, I'm done.
Well, I utilize their 24-hour service a lot. But okay, so in the caveat of owning your own website, it's amazing because you make the rules, kind of, so to speak. But on the flip side is of owning your own website, I get that question probably every single time I do a consultation phone call. So if you're ever interested, I know this is kind of like, what do you need to be a reseller? If you're ever interested in how to become a reseller, I do offer consultation phone calls, 30 minutes at a time for $35, and I talk this fast, and you're going to get a plethora of info. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check that out. We're at 46 thumbs up already.
46 thumbs up and 1 thumbs down.
Who doesn't like the content? Somebody's just a Debbie Downer out there.
Somebody is having a rough day.
They are having a rough day. Maybe we can turn that thumb upside down. All right.
Why would you give us a thumbs down?
Anyway, okay, so we're talking about our own website. We're getting derailed here.
Up to 47.
Oh man. So the one thing that I would say about your own website is, how do you drive traffic there?
Huge.
Because there are tons of websites out there. How do you find it? Okay? So everybody can find eBay. Everybody can find Poshmark. Everybody can find Mercari. Everybody can find Amazon. But how do they find HookedOnPickin.com? If you don't watch this YouTube channel, you don't know it exists. Unless now you're on Facebook, because now it pops up on Facebook. I need to get it connected to a couple other social media platforms, which we're in the process of doing.
We run ads occasionally.
Yeah, we do. So how are they going to find it? So a lot of people are like, I'm just going to run my own website. Well, that's all well and good, but customer acquisition, how much money do you have to spend in order to get people to find it? I did not create my website until I was, 2 years into YouTubing. I already had a following. I was over 10,000 subscribers, so I knew if I did hookedonpickin.com, those people at least would know it existed.
Yep.
And they could share it with their friends. So did we make it?
48.
48.
I may count the 1 as
a thumb.
It is a thumb.
But we were talking about thumbs up. We want thumbs up.
I wanted 50 thumbs up. But anyway. Okay, number 15 is your own website. That's really kind of the dream. And, and thinking about a fee structure, 30 cents an item, pay a subscription fee, and it's like a 2.5% credit card fee. Those are incredibly low fees.
The other thing,
considering eBay fees, Amazon fees, all those sorts of things.
The other thing, too, is a lot of people are like, we do pay a monthly subscription to host our website. But if you are paying a monthly subscription to host your own website, you're also paying a monthly subscription to be an Amazon seller or to be an eBayer. So that kind of is kind of wrapped up.
You won't own Poshmark and Mercari, but they have a lot less people looking at it.
Yeah, so it's a smaller platform.
Okay, let's see here. And then number 16, I would say, as we hope to answer any more of your questions.
This is kind of our bonus.
Yeah, I'll say the last one here. Let's see. It says, Lisa says, hello from Georgia, go Braves. Pegathy2 says, just got my sign and leopard print boots. Thanks. The boots are Christmas present if I still decide to let go of them. They're gorgeous. Michael Lincoln, a.k.a. Wayne Trading Company, says, I just came back from the garage grabbing a box. Did you mention your app? Yes, our Hooked on Pickin.
Yep, Hooked on Pickin store.
That's what we mentioned. Number 16, I think is incredibly important if you're going to be a reseller. It costs you nothing, but it means everything. And I would say we talked about it as the positive motivation, or why are you going to do this? You don't know how many people that we have met that started reselling and just stopped, just quit. They just like, Yep. And then they went and they worked at Dollar General, or they went and they worked at this place or that place. And they're not happy. They don't want to work there, but they kind of like, their motivation disappeared.
Reselling was too hard.
In certain ways it was. I think it really was why they're doing it just disappeared.
Yeah.
So why do you do this?
So I do this to keep my own schedule. That's the biggie, because we are in ministry. What? How many thumbs up?
We've hit 51 thumbs up, and the thumbs down are left.
They have
I
left.
don't even know how it happened.
They unthumbed down and they went to thumbs up. We made their day. We put a little sunshine in their
You guys are
life.
amazing.
Yep.
Okay,
Anyway,
back to motivation.
Motivation. So, why do you do what you do? Okay. What is your reason for starting reselling? Now, initially, ours was we can't live on Paul's salary.
That's true.
We need more money. That was our first motivation.
That was primarily not when we lived in Illinois, but when we lived in Iowa.
Yep.
As we had more children coming along, we had our second child and realized we don't make enough money to survive here.
We literally couldn't afford diapers.
And if you don't know, I'm a pastor. So if you're a pastor of a small church, they're doing the best they can. And you pastor salaries are usually a large portion of the budget of a church. But there's so many other things. Sunday school, paying for the building, the lights, the heat, all these different things that you want to do. And so you don't want to be a burden on the people. So, and that's why so many pastors' wives, they work outside the home, or, I know a lot that are in the medical field, nurses and those sorts of things. Some, it's just the need for insurance. So that's kind of changed a little bit in the system being a pastor. So I don't know what it is for you, but you might be at a spot where just financially you're not making it. And we talk to a lot of people that are getting ready to retire. And as they get ready to retire, yes, they've got a pension or they've got Social Security, but they look at it and they go, wow, that's not that much,
And so they need that little bit of extra cash so that they can live on their Social Security, but they can't do much else.
Right.
No extras at all. Right. So they want to make the extra little bit of cash and kind of do it on their own time. And so that's reselling. So for us, we just legitimately needed more money because we couldn't afford to live. Yep. And then it turned into, now that we're in Illinois, we could live on what Paul makes, but we couldn't do any extras. We couldn't go on vacation. We couldn't help our kids in college. We couldn't set up a retirement fund for ourselves. Right. We couldn't do any of those things without hookedonpickin.com. Right. The other reason, too, motivation-wise, is when we started YouTube, that really helped me socially.
Huge for Heather.
Because I am a social person, as you notice. And so sitting alone, listing and shipping, not my forte. I don't like it. It's not my favorite thing to do, but being able to give this feedback and help and teach and grow your guys'.
Full circle, coming back to the very first question, somebody asked, has YouTube changed you now that you're YouTube famous?
I would say...
I don't think we're YouTube famous. YouTube famous is like millions of subscribers.
Yeah.
We don't have that. You did get on a TV show.
We did get to get on a TV show.
That's true.
That really kind of went. One season. That was it.
That's all they could stand. They're like, we don't want to film this anymore. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun to be able to do. I think
that kept my motivation going because I guess I'm a little bit of a teacher at heart. I substitute taught for a lot of years, and I teach at church all the time, and I just like to share what I've already learned with other people. And also for the biggie for me was getting your feedback. Like, now I know what kind of products you guys like to buy from us because I'm getting your feedback. I know what you guys are interested in, what you're not interested in, what would you like to see, what would you like to know, all of those kinds of things. And so getting the feedback was a biggie for us. Staying motivated, YouTube really, really helped me with that part.
Yep. Let's see here.
Got a few questions?
Ashley Llewellyn says dance party because we hit over 50. Sunshine Badges More says sunshine on a cloudy day. Ashley Llewellyn threw a little party. Thank you, Ashley. Sunshine Badges More says still saving for my down payment, or for my house down payment. We're getting closer. Our goal is by this summer, and we're starting to rebuild a fund for adoption fees. Awesome.
Nice.
Life is changing quickly. Sunshine, you adopt a baby, life's going to change real quick.
You'll love
but in a good way.
You'll love every minute of it.
We have several in our church that have gone through adoption. It's an absolute blessing. Ashley says, yay. Donna Buckley says, I'm on Social Security. My only income. I would love to do reselling, but I don't have the startup money. Hey, I'd start real slow, Donna. Think about Poshmark. What clothes are you saying, you know what, I'll never wear that again? Poshmark is free. It only charges you once you've sold the item. Yep. All right, so it's a perfect setup for you. You can do it right on your smartphone. If you're watching us, you probably have the phone capability of it. And just sell the stuff that you have, and then You make $20, invest that into other product. It might be you want to go thrifting. You can have fun doing that too, and slowly build that up. So we never tell people go take out a loan to do this.
Never. We never have taken out a loan to do our business. We started with $300.
Yeah.
And that's only because I sold jewelry, and it was a jewelry fund.
And now Heather makes millions of dollars. No,
not millions.
Not millions. But definitely making a living.
Well, I make enough for it to be a full-time income.
Right. Let's see here. Pegathy2 says, it sounds like the thumbs up is a bit of an inspiration also. Yes, it is.
It helps Paul make his day better.
My ego. Ashley says, buy a bulk box of clothes to start. Post them on Facebook Marketplace.
Yep.
It's definitely an option
Facebook is free. Poshmark is free.
Yeah.
Mercari is free. Poshmark and Mercari, you pay the fees on the back end only when you sell it. So you could have 1,000. At one point, I think we had like 600.
As soon as you sell an item or two, light bulbs go off and you go, oh my word,
I can do this.
Let's see. Okay to Phoenix says, thank you so much. Great info and these live interactions with us. You bet.
Yep. Every Monday at around noon Central Standard Time. We'll be plus or minus 5 minutes on the noon Central Standard Time. But biggie is Thursday's fire sale. We've been picking some really fun stuff to put on there and kind of holding back some stuff for the Thursday fire sale at noon Central Standard Time. So if you were looking for Christmas presents, get it. Someone actually emailed me. It was Thursday, and I got an email this Saturday that they already had their item from the fire sale. They had bought a blood pressure cuff, and they literally, from the Thursday fire sale, got it on Saturday. It was amazing.
Awesome. Let's see here. Thank you for the info. Aaron says, sorry to butcher your name, what would you recommend for someone working 60 plus hours a week that is interested in transitioning to this? How fast is your turnaround from someone buying an item and shipping the item? Our turnaround right now on our own site right now is less than 20 hours. So when someone buys it, we're shipping it out our door. We're fulfilling the item within 20 hours. And then it takes whatever it takes the U.S. Post Office or
less than a week
UPS.
Normally.
Yeah.
International obviously is differently, but less than a week normally. They have it even through the post office right now.
Right.
I would say if you're working 60 plus hours a week, one thing that I would suggest is if you're shipping on other platforms, Poshmark, you have to ship the item within 3 days. So that means actually print the label and have the post office person scan it within 3 days. And then eBay, you can set up the amount of time it takes you to ship it. Obviously, the lower the amount of shipping, the person's going to buy it faster. So if you have, I'll ship same day or next day, they're going to buy it faster. But if you can't fulfill that on a regular basis, then will be shipped within 5 days. That way, on your weeks that you're just exhausted, it gives you a couple of days of leeway to get that item shipped. Now, just be aware, when they look at your item, it says arrival time, and it'll be delayed out if you have a 5-day shipping window. But just so you don't get yourself in trouble, because eBay sticks promptly to that. If you say, I'll ship it within 3 days, and it's day 4, you will put your account in jeopardy if you don't ship it within those 3 days. So just do what works for you. If you ship on Poshmark, you have a 3-day window. And I would say once you print that label, that doesn't count for the 3 days. It has to be scanned by the post office within that 3 days.
And I would say just start. Start slow, but start. And then you can start to understand, okay, I need an eBay site, I need this, I need that. And then as you're starting to do that, then you're like, okay, how could I scale this?
Pick a platform too. Like on Poshmark, you'll have these rules, and just pick a platform. If you're interested in Poshmark, I did write a Poshmark E-book. Tells you exactly how to get started, how to continue sales, how to offer discounts, all of that stuff on Poshmark. So if you're interested in that, go ahead. If you don't know where to pick items, I also have a digital reselling guide that you can check out, and those are both digital, so as soon as you buy it, it gets emailed right away and you can have access to it, and they have how-to videos linked to it and stuff like that.
Ashley Llewellyn said million. Sunshine Badge and More says, not so much a baby laugh aloud. We're thinking a bit older, between 2 to 5, and we're open to special needs. Can hardly wait. I will be there this week with the full attention. You know what? Yeah, whether you adopt a baby or you adopt a child 2 to 5, special needs or not, let's be honest. Your kid, even when they're 20, is still going to be your baby.
Yep.
Right? So just love on those children for
My
sure.
baby is going to go to college in a year and a half.
I know. It's going to be awesome. And then in about 5 years, you'll probably have grandbabies.
Maybe.
Be crazy. Crazy wild.
Just keep watching. We'll let you know.
That's right. Helen says, hi, guys. You two are great teachers. Thank you, Helen. On that wonderful note, we should be gone. Let me check one more time.
How many thumbs up?
53 thumbs up. I'm writing it down.
You made his day. Thanks.
You made my day.
And we made the sad thumbs down disappear.
That's
amazing.
That's amazing. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully these 16 items that you need for your reselling business helps. Like I said, just start is one of the big things that Paul said. Just start. You don't have to have all the ducks in a row right away, but just start and keep going. And hopefully these resources will help you know exactly how to be prepared and to become a lot more efficient. So a lot of these things just make you a lot more efficient, having everything at the ready. Thanks so much for joining us. And of course, remember in the end, Jesus wins.